All right, everybody. What is going on? Welcome back to Keeping It Real with TNL, episode 51. That's right, 51. There's only 52 weeks in a year, and we made it to episode 51. One a week. We're going to keep this up. That said, today we're going to be talking about a couple things. We're going to be talking about some of Lori's big non-scale victories over the year, and we're also going to be doing a part 2 on the GLP-1 medications. We know that some people may be thinking about starting their new year with that. But if that's the case, we'd at least like to give you the information and the facts that could help you make wise choices.
I love it. It's true. You don't know what you don't know. And we've researched it all, like
Yes.
expert level on nutrition and stuff. So this episode will help. Okay. So victories outside of the scale, because this size doesn't really matter. Any pounds beyond this are just like, wow, that's a new low every time, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's set this up. Let me set this up first.
Set it up.
So first things first, you obviously recently went to Hawaii and Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super different.
Yeah.
Super different.
But you've had some pretty good wins when you were in Hawaii with some clothes and some things fitting good. Do you want to talk about some of those things as well as the hike and how you felt?
Yeah, definitely. So we were on Oahu for Pearl Harbor, is the Memorial Weekend, Pearl Harbor Day. And what's interesting is that my capacity, like I'm not an endurance athlete, I always say that. I actually have the strength gene, right? I'm a 1 rep maxer, not a marathoner, is what I always say. And we went to Diamond Peak, I don't even know. We were in Diamond Head, the crater, and we were going to go up to the top. And that was my workout for the day. So like, it's a hike. So we get there and we start going, and I'm like, I'm still in zone 1. Like you have to up this a bit to make it count. So I was that person, very politely, as Tim pointed out. Excuse me, and like hiking past people and running past them and then running all the steps and down just to get like my heart to like 145, I think, was the highest in an hour of hiking. Like it was, and 48 minus 22, it was 26 years ago was the last time I was on this island.
26 years ago.
Yeah. This is my second time on it, and last time, because it's a little wild. I didn't hike it then because I was like, that seems hard. I remember that. So I was like 22 years old, and I was like, I'm okay. I'm on hard pass on that. And this year, 48 and a half, I was like, felt like shopping at the mall. Really, it did.
That's huge.
That's huge because
that's honestly bigger. No, that's the part that I didn't hear about, that this was also something that you could have done and you obviously remember. You're like, no. And now you're like, what was I? This would be some stuff.
Yeah.
What's the deal? That's huge.
Yeah. So it was exciting. And then I treated myself to the Lululemon that you can only get in Hawaii. Got my discount there too. The pants I wore today has the white printout of the islands. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. And those were size down too. So my 6s and my Lulus are getting big. Now I'm square and 4. And then in my jeans, I'm square and 2 now. I'll show you the tag. Then that like borderlines like OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. I jest. But yeah, so those were like the wins in Hawaii. And then keeping up with a really grueling schedule through there for Ashton's cheer event, which was quite an honor to be in the Pearl Harbor Remembrance Parade. It was like 2 hours long. And this is special for anyone that either appreciates history, will never forget the day, will live on in infamy, or has family ties. It was like there were Pearl Harbor survivors and Rosie the Riveter women that were still alive that were in a parade that could shake their hand and thank them. It was a special thing for her, but I was up like 6 a.m. till midnight the whole stretch of our time. So it wasn't a low workouts. Yeah, I did 2 gym workouts, the hike, and then because we were only there like the first day we got there at night, and then the 3 days, and then the 5th day we walked probably like about 10 miles, and then we had the parade that night. This was an evening parade. So yeah, 2 gym workouts, Diamond Head workout, and then like a 10-mile day of walking, which I love because that's my favorite part of Europe, was walking everywhere, right? Yeah, don't run a farm. Small places. Yeah.
Good stuff. So let's go up north.
Pacific Northwest, not in the part that's flooding. We got to save those people. That's a mess. I have my 2 nephews. That was the whole point. I love my brother and sister-in-law, but I miss the boys, and they're 6 and 4. And since I was up, remember in March, I went up and my nephew Luke made his, I want to be healthy, I'm going to eat this way and work out. So that lit fire under him. And he's been like all in on baseball. So he has private training, not private, small group private training. It was all about pitching on Sunday. I was there with him, watching him for an hour and a half. And he does all this training, and he's 6, and the other kids are like 10 and up. So he does really well.
Oh,
he's all in.
That's huge.
Yeah. So then Sunday morning, we did a Metcon, and they're not quite to where they can have like a light kettlebell without hitting each other. So little Grogu stuffed animal, the smaller one for the 4-year-old and the larger one for the 6-year-old, and that was their dumbbell snatch. So we did dumbbell snatches, burpees, and sit-ups. Then my brother's in the back of the video. I saw him with every other burpee, and I saw his crunches. But they asked for workouts. And then Tuesday, before I flew home, that was a long trip, they were playing kickball upstairs in this big family room, and then they asked for another Metcon.
Really?
So, yeah, they asked for CrossFit, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I would much rather my nieces or nephews that I have asking for that as like, can you take me to get a cake?
Yeah.
Take me to McDonald's. I want nuggets.
It was cool. My parents moved up to Gig Harbor, so on Wednesdays they take the boys to school because it's an hour and a half later start than usual. And all they talked about was walks with Fancy Lori, going down to the water, running around the park, and CrossFit. So that was their core memories were the activities we did, which were just like fitness and health and fun. So
that's huge.
That's huge. I wish, like we talked about that. We didn't have that when we were young. So I was like, it was worth the 9.5-hour madness of getting back to my home last night with all the plane breaking down and traffic. It was like, it's okay. I would go through that for them all the time because we got to start them young. Like, talk to your kids, nieces, nephews, grandkids about activity because otherwise they're going to have that hump on their neck from on the phone. Because then when they get into school, they're on, Chromebooks. And then high school, middle school, they're allowed to use their cell phone. And the teacher is out of curriculum to teach for the hour and a half block. I've watched it Ashley graduates in June. So we've been at this for a while. So, yeah, that was really cool. Those are the wins that make a difference. The last one was when my brother and I had Aiden at the park while Luke was at his baseball training with his mom. Aiden likes to run around this like half-mile thing around the park, and I just ran and talked, and it wasn't even hard.
No.
It's not my thing. I love lifting, but it's easy, and I can do it, and I love that.
That's the win. That's the win right there. And there's so many. What scares me is that there are parents, aunts who couldn't go and do that.
Yeah,
they couldn't keep it with the kids. Where it's just more like let me find a spot on the bench, and you guys got 1 hour. Like that's what my parents do. Like they're involved in the running and being active with me, and actually even being able to keep up. So that's already huge.
One thing I haven't told you, and I'm going to say this out loud because it was shocking to me. So I'm at gate B12 in SeaTac, and the plane, they're deplaning. They're getting off the plane, and I counted because it was taking forever to get the plane empty. And I was stressed about leaving on time, which was immaterial when there was a mechanical issue. We couldn't go for like 2 hours. But I counted, and there was like 48 people that could not walk off the plane. 48, and it was not a full flight. So even if it was 150 people on the plane, that's like a third of the plane that is too sick or obese or has no strength because they never took care of themselves that have to be carted off the plane. And they're not in their 80s and 90s. They're people my age. Like in the real wheel. Yeah. Like not like there were 48. I don't know where the fuck they came in from, but it's not a healthy place. I was just like, I'm sad. I'm sad because like 48 people is fucking wild. Like 8 or 10, you're like, oh my God, we're gonna be here forever. But it was like a solid 30-something extra minutes than the normal time it takes to have to. Like my best friend worked for Southwest. I've been flying with them forever, right? So yeah, that's depressing. And it went to tells like 78% or 80%.
84%.
84% of Americans have chronic disease or illness. So yeah, so this episode will be eye-opening for a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then maybe we can lead by example, and other gyms will start doing special population health care and training so that there aren't 48 people that literally can't walk off a plane. And they're not all related. It's just like random ass people. You watched the detail. It's like, oh, that family of 10, they're all.
Yeah, or like it's a special ed basketball team or something.
No, they were just, yeah. And the one woman looked like she was straight asleep in there. I was like, please be alive.
Oh my God.
No, it was sad. That made my heart like heavy. That it's that bad. And that's one plane.
Yeah, that's one plane in Seattle. That's not every plane that flies into LaGuardia, Houston, JFK, every other airport around the world with all these issues.
Yeah,
dude,
it's fun. It's coming to a new year where people want to have a resolution or make a change, right?
Absolutely. So speaking of the new year, guys, that's what we're going to be talking about. Today, we're going to be talking about education, not fear. I'm not going to fear monger you into not taking GLP-1s that you probably have heard about, Ozempic and other ones. But we're going to just present the facts, and then you guys can make the choices as you guys see fit for where you're at in your own personal lifestyle and what it is that you're trying to do. And then the other thing that you could also think about is something that I find very cool. If you go back to episode 1 and see how me and Lori look, and you come back now, you could see the other route that we chose to accomplish the same goal that most people are trying to use with these GLP-1s.
Yeah.
But we could talk about that later. So
to be clear, there are people, so they're type 2 diabetic medications, right? They're medicine to help someone who is severely morbidly obese, like 400-pound people, or you have an 80-year-old who's too sick to go out and walk and do things. They want to get that weight off. It's not factoring off. We'll talk about that too, and get them into a place where they don't have to take a wheelchair off the plane, right? And so it's appropriate for that. That significant metabolic dysfunction, unless someone like Tyre Lori comes in through a MedFix program or personal training and teaches you nutrition, you're just eating less of the shit food that got you there. And that's the biggest problem one of the biggest problems with that. So if you don't have a strength training plan, you have no nutrition strategy, no gut health support, which is huge because that whole gut food sitting in there for days at a time.
We're going to talk about
right?
that.
Yeah.
Things on that.
And then, you have to have a plan for what we would call an off ramp because the CrossFit would be on ramp and this would be the off ramp, right?
Exactly.
And if you don't have that, you are putting yourself at an even greater risk for the things that are becoming more popular, like thyroid cancer from this. Like, we have to talk about that. Like, it's not to be scared, but you can't make an informed decision if you're not informed. And now that doctors are talking about once you're on it forever. It's like the new statin. And we all know how worthless those are and the side effects. Like, how many times are we going to keep, like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me? Like, it's the same playbook, but with a different medication now. And I think we have to be real about that. So that's what we like to keep it real, right?
Absolutely. And Lori brings up some of those points, like without the long-term plan towards health, this would be the equivalent of, let's say that you hurt your, let's say that you break your foot and you're going to walk around with the crutch, and then once it heals and it'll go back, and you're like, no, I'm not going to give this crutch back. It's like hopping on with the one foot. You would never do that. You would obviously start to try to build the straight back and try to start the straight walk again and see if you get back into it. And that's exactly like I said, that's how it should be looked at, is for those who may need that jump start, fine. Try it. But yes, have a plan to become healthy.
Okay, it's true.
So we already know what some of the common side effects are. We got the nausea, indigestion, we got the acid reflux, we have the constipation, diarrhea, bloating, and abdominal pain. Some of the other ones that are a little bit more low key are obviously some of the mental stuff, but we will dive into some of those.
See, that's scary.
Yeah.
Because mental health is pretty fragile in this country, especially since COVID. Like, people have been circling the drain for quite some time without help. And then you exacerbate that.
Exactly.
That's terrifying shit to me,
Exactly.
especially as a parent. I'm like, oh my God.
That's pouring the gas on the fire.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. So let's talk about some of the more serious concerns. We'll kind of breeze over them. We talked about them in the last episode. It was heavily watched by people because people really want to know. Yeah. And you should. You should.
And it's even better because, as you guys know, we're not sponsored yet, so we don't have to say any things to support anybody else. That's what makes the show exactly what it is. It's just facts.
I'm still waiting for free red meat to keep talking about red meat. Yeah. But I've been eating it for years, so it's not like this buy off. Okay, so significant muscle loss. GLP-1s are muscle wasting drugs. If you know someone who's on it, I can think of a dozen, not in my gym, just out of people I know. And if you all saw Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon back in the day, Dr. Robotnik has like the round middle and the lower legs. I'm seeing that. They're still carrying the visceral fat because they're not burning fat. Yeah, a lot of the weight loss is coming from muscle, and it's scary because your heart's a muscle, and you need muscle to squat and stand, and not need the wheelchair to get off the plane, right? We also have like gallbladder problems.
Really quick. Okay. Let me throw in a couple more things.
No, do it. Yeah.
So I was going to go into it. So guys, let's explain a little bit more why this whole muscle loss thing is an issue. So muscle, as we know, is metabolic tissue. It's working while you're not. It keeps that metabolism going.
Yes.
And so you are now taking away the one thing that keeps that metabolism going. And so what do you think is going to happen once you're actually trying to eat real food when you don't even have muscle here to help you with that? And then when the calories drop way too fast, especially with the appetite suppression type drug, the body begins to catabolize muscle for energy. And that's what's really also taking place because you're not as hungry. You may not feel that in your brain, but your body knows, why am I not getting what I've been getting?
Yeah.
And it's going to start to still eat from other sources within you. And obviously they found that source has been muscle loss. That's how come most people who take some of these are experiencing that. The other thing that obviously is an issue, once you lose muscle, here's what's going to be taking place. You obviously now lower the body's metabolic rate. You're going to increase your fatigue and weakness. And even worse, you're going to increase your chance of injury or risk if you're an older individual, because now you're even weaker. And so you may have lost weight and you may be able to tell whoever asked how much you weigh, because no one ever asked anyone anyways, but we still care about numbers. But it's one of those things where it's like you've now done this and you're now put yourself at risk for much, much larger problems anyways. And then now, that's how come me and Lori were saying it's important, okay, if you're going to start this, at least also start a strength plan, start a workout plan that's going to help obviously mitigate what's going to be taking place while using this. There you go.
Brilliant. I love that. The gallbladder problems, I know one young woman about a decade younger than me that lost her gallbladder. And I know a lot of people, we talked about this, like Kaiser's like, we take them out like they're not important. When you got to get on the gallbladder supplement to replace the bile, get from that. It affects digestion, detoxification, and without even knowing your genetic makeup, like that's a big thing. Like every organ in your body serves a purpose. So especially when you're like, your appendix isn't that important, it's all important. Because if it weren't important, God wouldn't put it in your body. Like it serves a purpose. So the gallbladder is another huge one because it affects digestion and detoxification and energy creation, right? It affects all of it. So that, to me, like that's a huge risk.
And then you're also putting yourself, because with the rapid weight loss with the GLP-1s, you're going to be putting the gallbladder at risk because the bile becomes a lot more concentrated. And so now we got our bile that's more concentrated. It's easier for the gallstones to form more easily. You're putting yourself at risk for having that.
Yes.
So I don't want to talk about the downfall of gallstones, but
that's when they take your gallbladder, right? Yeah. Like, gotta go. Even though I got rid of that guy's gallstones in 5 weeks, remember? And he saved his gallbladder, yeah. So there's that option too. I mean, I guess I can save your gallbladder if you want to save it. You should.
You should.
But you got to put in work. You got to take supplements, change your food.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's just a little bit of work to save a vital organ. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. And here's the thing that most people don't probably realize. The amount of work that you probably are putting in to justify to your doctor that you need this would have been the same amount of work as you coming here and working with us and just getting it done.
Yeah.
Moving on to the pancreas.
Pancreatitis. That's, well, first of all, it's painful as hell. Second of all, your pancreas is what creates these cells that make insulin. So a type 1 diabetic has a severely damaged pancreas, right? We know it's autoimmune, so definitely if you're getting sick or doing things or you feel things going wrong, you should hard stop everything to keep your pancreas working well. So that like just from that standpoint, like diabetes is rough, but type 1 is deadly if you're not putting in insulin to keep your body alive because your pancreas can't do the job anymore, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So just some of those common symptoms. We're not saying to obviously go and check, but obviously if you're taking GLP-1s and there's something going on with the pancreas, what you're going to be noticing is high levels of abdominal pain. You're going to be dealing with a lot of the nausea and vomiting. Now, so that could also be obviously the Ozempic and the GLP-1s tell you that those are symptoms that you may face naturally just from what's taking place. But if they get to a point where they're a lot more severe, that's when you might want to be thinking, do I have pancreatitis? Something else is going to be pain after eating. Those are another sign of that. So just some things to keep in mind. That's what we wanted to give you guys, some of these facts. So if you're out there on that road using this and you're like, how come after every meal it sounds like there's something taking place? I'm in pain. Yeah. Those are things that you need to be cognizant of. So
definitely. Yeah. All right, you're gonna take us on to gut stuff, huh?
Gut stuff. All right. So severe GI motility issues. This is beyond typical nausea, and this is what some patients are experiencing. So this is, how do I say this? It could happen in a few different forms, but severe constipation or what's known as intestinal blockage. Now,
that's a tough one.
I'm going to go into one story, one personal story of something that I seen. This wasn't caused by Ozempic, but this may just kind of set that in what has taken place when you have an intestinal blockage.
Yeah.
I worked at the Oregon Department of Corrections in 2012. There was an inmate who had ate some food. He was an older man, and he was having some very major stomach pains. Turns out he had swallowed like another piece of the orange, like whole, and it got stuck in his intestine. And so when you take an inmate out of the prison, you have to go to a hospital, and it doesn't matter what the procedure is, you have to be in there the entire time. They did the x-ray, they saw the blockage, and he got rushed into surgery. I was in the surgery, and I watched what it looks like when they open up your stomach and pull back the muscles, and they open up the intestine. And I watched the surgeon pull the orange out that was stuck and have to sew and bandage all that up.
Oh.
So I've seen this process firsthand of what happens when you actually have something that's blocking. And obviously the pain that inmate was in at the time, believe me, I heard about the whole ride and everything else. And oh my gosh. But obviously he wasn't lying. There was something taking place that was like over the top. And if I would have known then, I probably would have had a little bit more sympathy, but we had one mindset, no fear, no mercy.
Yeah.
But this is true. And I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody else. Like that's a serious thing. And not to mention the recovery time. So then you probably don't even get to work out or do anything. And I'm pretty sure that once that happens, the last thing that you're probably going to want to do is get involved with any kind of GLP-1s. So it's just put it out there like that could take place.
Gut health is health.
Yeah.
It's immune system. Your gut health is super important. And I've spent the last 11 years giving people their gut health back. Yeah, myself included. It's really everything.
So we got dehydration and kidney stress. So when the appetite drops, people often don't eat or drink enough. This is very true because since you're not quote unquote hungry like you usually are, then you're not reaching for food. But all of us also, since we're not hungry, then we're not drinking as much. And so you're naturally, without you even noticing, you may not be consuming as much water as you usually would. This could lead to dehydration and even acute kidney injury. So let's kind of dive into that. Now, let's say that you now are experiencing, okay, I've been on this, and you start to feel a little bit of the dehydration. This could also be exacerbated by the vomiting and nausea, and we're losing even more liquids from our mouth and from there.
Yeah.
Maybe. But then, so now you're like, well, how does this affect the kidney? Well, this reduces kidney perfusion. You have to look at that. That's your test. You
Look it up.
Yes. But symptoms of that, once that starts to take place, once you're seeing kidney issues, something's going to be dark. Some of the things that you're going to start to see are going to be dark urine. You're going to begin to feel dizzy. You're going to have very low blood pressure, and you're going to be feeling extremely tired, even though you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So, again, things to be cognizant of. Obviously, just because you aren't hungry or not thirsty, that doesn't mean that you could just go days and days without water. Use your common sense. You still have to drink. You still have to be on top of those things. And that's the hard part about when you're taking medications that are changing mental signals.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting those human signals that your body has basically used your whole life. And even though those may have caused you to gain weight and get out of shape, those are also things that keep you safe because you know when you need water. You instantly, oh, dude, something's up right now. Let me grab a cup.
Yeah.
Or those days when it's been like 12 hours, like I need some food. And when you don't have those signals anymore, you're now putting yourself at risk.
Yeah.
It's like walking through without an alarm system, knowing something's going on here.
Yeah, it's funny because as parents, you'll be like, "Oh my god, my kid forgot their lunch, and they're going to go 6 hours without eating." But you'll go 2 days.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. You already know that it's not okay.
Exactly.
Even if you're ketogenic, you're still getting some food in there.
Absolutely. And that's the other thing, guys. It's like with the plans that me and Lori offer when it comes to food, there's no one starving themselves here. We're not telling you can't eat after 7. I'm not going to lie. I knock back prime ribs all week. And I look, I don't starve to get these results. I just stay consistent with what I do eat and make sure that it's healthy and make sure that it's high in protein and low in carbs. But once you realize there's a plethora of options that feed that, the world's your oyster. Like, I don't count calories. I don't if I want to eat, I will literally go home, and if I want a ribeye, I'm throwing it on. And I might have 2. That's my thing. But that's the other difference because those foods are also powering us to keep the muscle that we have and keep the results that we're getting in the gym.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Now, we'll go to vision. Vision concern in the type 2 diabetics. So, in people with existing diabetic retinopathy, rapid blood sugar changes, and it may worsen eye complications. So this is obviously more for a specific group, but it's still something that you should be kind of just concerned about. And the reason that we say this is this. A lot of people don't even know that there may be a diabetic already. And since they're not being told that,
half our participants didn't know they were diabetic. Holy crap.
Yeah, so
my intake blood work, yeah.
So imagine them not knowing and thinking that this is going to solve their problem, and they wake up blind, not knowing that they were already at risk for that due to them being a type 2 diabetic. That's a serious thing.
Serious, 100%. All right, thyroid warning. I'm really partial to talking about the thyroid because I had an autoimmune thyroid disease and reversed it because nobody wants to say it's cured, but it hasn't come back in 11 years. That's my thyroid's great because I changed the way I ate some things.
That's huge.
There is a box warning related to thyroid cell tumors on the animal data, right? And now they're talking about it more for people, humans. And I know things are different from a ferret to a mouse to a rat to a human, but now the humans are getting their thyroid cancer, and you can see more of that talked about. Not as suppressed as you would expect, but, I think we're moving on to a new cancer vaccine, so this will sort of go the way of the dinosaur soon. It's one to the next, right?
Yeah.
But your thyroid is important, and what I want people to understand is, especially for women, it's all part of our endocrine system. We have the ovaries that men don't, and we have specific things, and the thyroid is important because when things are off on that, generally driven from insulin resistance and metabolic dysfunction, like all the time, that's where fertility issues come in too. That's where people in menopause and perimenopause suffer more as well. And if you're like me and you're not a doctor, but you heal everyone better than a doctor because you figured it out working on yourself, you've really learned a lot from other countries as well. And it's simple. It's all connected, right? It's not like, oh, take my thyroid out.
Yeah. Everything.
Please don't. Like, I've seen people have their thyroid out and they're fucking mess. Like, my aunt had a thyroid issue. Thyroid out, health issue. Like, it's all connected. So you need your thyroid and you need your gallbladder, and you really shouldn't get rid of your appendix unless the way you're living has caused it to rupture, and then it's too late. But pay attention to your organs because no one's going to come in and give you a new butterfly shape.
Absolutely.
It's important. It regulates a lot of things. Surgical and anesthesia risks is important because if you're someone that already has a lot of health problems existing and you can't go in and have a life-saving surgery because of this, there's just a bigger risk during anesthesia and deep sedation, basically. So keep that in mind. And then the mental health monitoring, this is huge. And I'll tell you this, anybody ever get hangry watching this? Remember when we were carb heavy and so our blood sugar would drop and hypoglycemia? And now people talk about it like it's being thirsty. Oh,
yes.
So hypoglycemic. And or your kids get super cranky because after 2 hours at the park, they're out of sugar, right? And your body's like jonesing for the next carbohydrate fix. They're doing a lot of monitoring, they being researchers, hopefully the company's putting it out. You never can tell. Around mood changes and suicidal thoughts. And the reason why this makes me super sad is you already have a great risk for mood changes, cutting, and suicidal thoughts from antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds. And now you're taking something to try to lose weight because you're already sad about that. And it exacerbates the mental health problems. So now everything you're on is telling you, like, bad thoughts.
And then it's even worse too, because as Lori said, because of what's going on in the gut now, we're getting everything that's messed up there that's still causing even more of the mental issues up top, because you were dealing with an appetite suppressant and you're dealing with dopamine signaling in the brain.
Yeah.
Those are two things. That's gut and what? Brain.
Right. Brain, second brain.
Exactly.
100%.
So, and it's interesting that they made a drug that intentionally messes up those two signal points.
And then you're not eating, so you're not getting micronutrients. And if you have a lot of the genetic mutations that swirl around methylation and B vitamins, you're not getting the P5P in the brain. That's like the anti-anxiety vitamin, right? Like, I have clients that are super stressed out from work, and there's nothing. I don't think some people, our bodies get so tired we cannot combat the external stressors coming in. So I'm always like, ashwagandha and double down on your P5P and B12 for energy and folate if you have a methylation issue because you're deficient on that. And then they calm down. Like, I will say this, I used to think I was just a high stress where I said, oh, we're Italians, we're all high stress and dramatic and whatever. But like, just kind of keep an even keel now that I didn't have before I got to this level of health. And my macronutrients are good. My macronutrients are good. I know I need methylated Bs because I know my genetic makeup. Like, I have the Oracle. I don't need to go see the Oracle to get the answers. It took a whole lifetime, but I figured it out. And now I'm reaping the benefits of my hard work. And all of you are reaping the benefits of decades of hard work to crack the code quickly when things go awry. But mental health is a huge one. And we really should not take that lightly because it's, they're working on GLP-1s for kids and teens and cats.
Kids, teens, and cats.
There's a cat one. And I was like, this has to be a joke. And I'm like, well, I thought the COVID vaccines for animals were a joke too.
Yeah.
So that's just made me like, this is so outlandish. Like, who is filming me in my living room while I'm reading this? It's like the Lori Truman show. But I'm like, nah, we had... Oh no. So yeah, I mean, I have chunky indoor calves. I have a big breed chunky girl. She's beautiful, but she's thick. But I'm not putting her on.
Yeah.
I put her on digestion for indoor cats, and I brush her and I play with her all day and try to get her to a healthy weight. Same with Miko. He's a little chunky guy.
It's still, like I said, it's one of those things. I don't have cats, but obviously I wouldn't want to put any of my animals.
Well, check out my guinea pig.
Yeah, like
no. A guinea pig is fat. Look at that butt. It looks like a corgi. Like, no, but I mean, when I saw it for kids, I was like, just like hard stop on this, please.
Yeah.
Because at that point, the weight is from how they're being fed 100%.
Yes.
Because your 7-year-old doesn't hop in the car and grocery shop and cook.
Exactly.
And if you're too busy or don't have the financial means to make their lunch, they're eating school lunches. Like, everybody's situation is different, but when your child has hit a certain weight or a certain health problem, like this is where as parents, we have to do the hardest thing to look inside and take responsibility for what's happening with our kid, right? An addiction, food addiction in children is no fucking joke.
No, it's not. That's a serious problem, and they obviously do not know how to control it because they don't even understand what is taking place.
Yeah.
That's what's scary.
That's what's scary. I'll tell you this. Luke told me we're walking over the bridge. We're walking down because it rained Sunday. We had 2 days of no rain. That bring the good luck to the Pacific Northwest when I fly in. And we're walking around, and we're walking over the bridge. And the bridge stays in my mind because I'm like making sure the boys aren't too close to the edge. Such a female brain, right? Like, it's a bridge, it's a 40-foot drop, it's a train tracks. So we're walking. He's like, my mom didn't let us have candy on Halloween. And I was like, what? You have the best mom in the world. Are you serious? He's like, not even a piece. And I was like, good. Because that's garbage.
That's a mom that pushed a hard line.
I was like, your mom, I'm telling you right now, don't ever forget what Auntie Laura's telling you. You have the best mom, the smartest mom, and prettiest mom of all of them. And you should thank God every night for her. Yeah, he really thought I was going to jump on the bandwagon and be like, your mom's mean. I was like, damn, I wish I was half that good of a mom.
I wish my mom would have had some little bit of drawing a hard line like that.
We could trick or treat, we could give the candy to someone who needs it or the garbage can.
There you go.
Right. The thrill of picking the toys out and the toothbrushes out and getting rid of the rest. So I was like, straight up, Joe did some great things. But yeah, I mean, because it's addiction.
It is.
It is.
And exactly. And it starts, like I said, with these little moments of, oh, it's just holidays and treats. And well, those are things that carry over into just everyday life. And yes, because of how it's set up, oh, I'm having this when I'm having fun. I just trick or treated. It's Christmas morning. We're having candy canes and Hershey's. Oh my God, there's the M&M candy cane thing. Like all these things are intentionally induced around the time and the moment. So it's elevated state, and that is how it becomes an addiction. Because every time I was happy, there was either meal or food or something sweet.
Yeah.
And that locks in the kid's head, which is why they're always chasing the fucking candy, chasing the sweets. But they don't really realize how they've been being programmed. Obviously, I didn't realize.
I didn't realize it. So here's our social experiment for everyone watching. I want you to spend the next 5 days at any meal or party or night out or whatever it is, watching how people's countenance change when they sip the martini or drink the cake or have the potatoes. Like you can literally watch someone like, it's euphoria for some people. Yeah. They put it in and they're like one
of my favorite signs.
I'm not even making it up. Like you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
One of my favorite signs is when I'm out and someone takes a bite of something and it's so good that they can't help but dance and no music's playing.
Oh, that's crazy. Yes. We're like, oh shit, feel it right now.
It's like
a Diddy party.
Yeah, it's like
exactly cookie.
Do that much to elevate your mood to the level of wanting to. I got that's good.
Yeah,
like that's how much it changes.
Yes, and then watch your kids, if you're a parent, a niece or nephew, or your friend's kids, crash and burn when the sugar's worn off. And they're like, "Oh my God, Satan's in a tiny bite right now." They get crazy and mean. Ashley used to get mean when she'd eat chocolate. Like she would go punch somebody.
Sure.
She would. So I was like, take her off the chocolate. Like, that's it. Like, of course she wants it because she's probably got some allergic reaction. There's some level of this like inside, but she wants more of it. And then she's like, me, like, sorry about my only kid biting your dog.
Sorry about my kid biting your dog. I had to say it again because you missed it.
I know, but she didn't bite a dog, but she did whack the shit out of my wiener dog with a toy, and then he bit her. Good times, guys. Thank you, makers of Hershey's chocolate. Jesus Christ. Like, these are the core memories you don't want to keep forever, but you don't forget that.
Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
All right.
So let's kind of bring this back home now. So we're going to be launching a small group GLP program, and we're basically going to say, okay, if you're using these, we've come to terms with that. But at least come to us where we could show you how to navigate using them, building a plan that you could, as Coach Lori said, off ramp onto. Because once you start to feel confident again and you get into the habit of working out, and if you seeing that weight loss sparks some motivation, then it's like, okay, at least now we have a plan that is going to actually help you out in the long term, as opposed to you having to eventually deal with all these either side effects or deal with this, the fact that you may have to take it the rest of your life. And who knows what 5 years down the road looks like on this stuff. Who knows how much muscle you'll actually lose? Who knows about the bone stuff that's going to be taking place? So
osteopenia, all the things, right?
These are the things that I wouldn't want to have to find out about. So obviously, if you're going to be coming, if you're going to be joining any of our small group programs or anything that we do here, we always have a strength. I mean, we always have our base and strength training, because we find that it is essential. And as we said, when you're doing something that is causing muscle loss, you need to be on every bit of your game to be trying to prevent it.
Yeah.
And then not only that, just as we age without the GLPs, you're going to be losing muscle. So you don't need to times that by 2 and then not do anything to try to mitigate it.
Yeah.
So that's how come the strength is going to be essential. So the strength training is going to signal your body to preserve the muscle. It's going to protect that metabolism, which we all know is so valuable. It's going to obviously improve the insulin sensitivity, and it's going to reduce that rebound to weight gain once you do actually stop.
Yeah.
And so this isn't about burning calories. This is about protecting your body and keeping you strong. So that is one of the things that we offer in the small group program.
Yeah. So nutrition and gut health matter more than ever when you're taking this. So I have a whole supplement lineup for when you're on it, and they can lay off of it to support digestion, muscle, strength, energy, all the things. Because if you're just eating less of the food that put you in the predicament you're in, you're not winning. You're just losing muscle, not fat. And you're not changing habits that will just put you right back there. And nobody, not even your cat, should be on this for life. I'll say.
Simple.
Fuck anyone that says that, Kaiser.
Yeah.
Stop.
Seriously.
Stop. Because if it were really just about doing what it should be doing to help you turn off food noise, and then be doing it while working out, eating right to actually burn fat and visceral fat and build muscle while doing it. You just, in 13 days, we roll back diabetes. You don't need to be on this forever.
Exactly. Literally,
okay.
13 days.
30 days.
You could roll it back that quick.
Yeah, like, let's go. So the thing is, we're going to make sure that you're getting adequate protein. Your intake form is going to let me know your habits, what went wrong. I'm going to see your blood work. I'm going to see everything. And then we're going to determine the way of eating to get you as close as possible to the lowest carbohydrate, where you're running off proteins and fats that your body can handle, right? Because you got to eat, and you have to drink, and you have to think about electrolyte balance, and you're going to learn the tools, because just like any good coach, trainer, and doctor should do, I'm not bringing you into my program to keep you on it for life. Trying to give you the tools that no one else will know how to give you, so you have a great life without me. If everybody needed me from the moment they started with me, I could never help anybody else. Like, we would be maxed out like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I want to teach you what no one else is teaching you, and make it doable for you, so it doesn't feel stressful, so that you actually do it. And then when life happens and stress happens and you gain some weight back or you fall off track, you know how to get back on the path, right? Like that's what Time Warrior's always been about. It's just like, I don't need you to need me forever. It's great that you want to work out with me as long as you want to, but if I'm not teaching you along the way, it's like that episode of Grey's Anatomy. This is a teaching hospital, damn it. Let me get in and help with the surgery. But it's like that. Like if all I do is just like hold your hand and I'm like setting up your bar and putting your equipment away and you know, just like, oh, do that. Like if I'm not even teaching you how to squat properly and why it's important, why you get worried about it? Remember it.
Exactly.
It's the same thing here. It's the exact same thing with this.
I completely love that. One of the things that I always joke about, like with my clients, like, so when you leave me, I'm just curious, do you think that you could go into a gym and operate on your own with confidence? And every time they're like, oh yeah, I know how to squat. I would know how to use the back rack. I would know what free weights to go get. I would know how to do all these things. Like they would be able to finally walk into there on their own and know exactly what to do, how to do it safely, and how to do it for the rest of their lives. Because obviously, me and Lori, we're going on to things. So we're not going to be able to come down all the time and save everyone out the wish wash. But
we're here to save everybody, not 10 people. So we give you all the information. It's not like a secret.
Yeah.
That's going to cost you $25,000 to unlock. Like it's not like we really want to get you to the truth of nutrition and health so that you and your family and your extended family, when they get sick, you, even if you don't feel comfortable enough giving them advice, you know who can. Like, we're never going to get healthier as a society if we like gatekeep the information or keep people with us for like 20 years as if they shouldn't have known in the first 3 months what it was that they need to know.
And like, here's what's crazy. Like if we like advertise, like, okay, so we live in a very nice area where they send magazines that tell you the events that are going on at the city center and the classes that they offer. Let's just say that you opened up that and there was a class that said for 12 weeks, you're going to learn how to properly weight train. You're going to learn how to properly eat right. You're going to be working close with coaches and professionals who have been doing this for a lifetime who could get you onto a healthier lifestyle if you sign up for this 12-week local class at the freaking city center or whatever. People would probably fill up if they heard it that way.
Yeah.
But because you guys have to work out, I have to do this. But that's what you are getting. You are literally getting a college level course on how to work out properly and safely, what foods are going to help you, what foods are going to hurt you, how to do it in a certain way that's not going to cause pain in the long term, the certain things that you need to watch for as you're going through the program. Not only that, we show you how to stretch. We even help you deal with the mental issues that you may be dealing with because as your confidence develops here, you're going to see it carried out into the real world, and therefore you're going to be obviously living in an elevated state. If you saw that in that magazine in the San Ramon or the Danville Times, you'd be like, what class is this?
Yeah.
How do I get there?
Yeah.
That's what we're giving you guys.
Yeah. Literally.
That. It could literally save and change your life. And not only that, this is knowledge that you could pass down to your kids, your nieces, your nephews, other people, and get them on track so that they could now see this is how you're going to have a much, much happier life and not have to go through some of the things that we went through when we were trying to figure it all out.
True. I'll tell you this, Mike. It's funny. Like I go down the rabbit holes of health and nutrition and also, you know, like MK Ultra shit, stuff like that. And my brother goes down the whole, like that whole fiat food and like investments and money, stock market and crypto. And I looked at him, I'm like, I love that we have these conversations and I have such a great understanding of investing in money and the way things work and why things are manipulated and things like that. And I looked at him, I'm like, you know, what's funny is that not one American should ever waste time and money investing in the stock market, crypto, or anything if they've not invested in their health first, because they'll not live long enough to reap any benefits.
Exactly.
Look, don't put the cart before the horse. If you're going to live an opulent life of just, you know, like all the shit you want to eat, whatever you want to do, I don't have time to work out, I don't have time for my health. Why are you setting yourself up for a retirement that you'll never live long enough to make?